everybody, it's Chris Nevermore Podcast and the Cast Net Podcast Nevermore YouTube channel. Just back with another Rumour Has It video where we're talking about players potentially linked to the club over this summer and players that we maybe quite fancy the club sticking a bid in for. So we've got a couple of corkers today from one club, and it shouldn't surprise you because we've talked about this club before. There seems to be a few players who may be heading for the exit door here, and we're going to get stuck into that in a minute. Just before we do, a little bit of housekeeping. If you haven't already, please click the like and subscribe button. We're closing in, hopefully, soon on 1,700 subscribers. We're not a million miles away. So if you haven't done it already, please smash the button, hit the bell. You'll never miss a video, whether it be a Rumour Has It up late date like this, or whether it be one of the live shows every Monday and Wednesday. So come and join us. Loads of Newcastle content coming. We even have fans from other clubs sometimes. We welcome everybody in on the live shows. But yeah, smash that button. Come and join us and enjoy the content. So yeah, let's get stuck into this then. So the two players we're talking about are both from Chelsea. Now, this isn't the first time we've talked about Newcastle talking to Chelsea about potential players that they may have available. And Chelsea got a ridiculously huge squad full of quality, brimming with quality. But it's clear that Tuchel doesn't fancy a few of them. And there's a couple here we're going to get stuck into who are really, really good players as well. So the first one is Hakim Ziyech, who is a really, really good player. Obviously, Chelsea signed him from Ajax. He was a huge, big deal. You know, he was one of the most sought after players in Europe at the time. He's he's been there for a few years, a couple of years now. 81 appearances, 14 goals and 10 assists during that time. You know, he's a very quick player, as Mark said there in his key stats, his passing, his key passes, his long pass. He's very quick. He's very energetic. He's very good at winning the ball back as well and then breaking with pace. Really quick feet, very composed on the ball. The kind of player that can win your game, can turn your game if you're up against it. You know, you're under the cosh. You know, he can absorb a bit of pressure. He can just pick that right pass or drop a shoulder and spin in behind and just set you off on a break. And, you know, very, very talented footballer for me. And I just think that he wasted in Chelsea, wasting away. There's so many players that go to Chelsea and waste away. It's one of them, you know, clubs where you either sink or swim. And I think a lot of players of late have really been sinking. You know, Chelsea are very volatile. Obviously, managers are getting changed left, right, and centre, whether they win trophies or not. You know, you saw what happened with Ancelotti back in the day, Conte, Lampard. Now you've got Tuchel. Yeah, he's flavour of the month now, but it might not last forever. Obviously, all the issues with the ownership. They've got new ownership now as well. They were talking about trying to buy fucking Ronaldo and Neymar, so they don't know what the hell they're doing. So I think a lot of these players are getting a little bit pissed off as well. We're getting messed around. I think Ziyech is one who's looking to leave. He's made noises through his agents, but you can see his stats there, kind of his stats per 90 based on last season. And this is across the top European leagues, top 5 leagues. The marks worked out. You can see his goals per game there. He's in the 51 percentile. His shots, he's 3.5 shots a game, so it's the 97 percentile. So he's pretty high up on that one. His key passes in the 74 percentile. You can see from his heat map there, he's a very, very busy player. Sticks out wide quite a lot, which is nothing wrong with that at all, especially if you've got a decent centre forward to hit, especially, in the likes of Callum Wilson. This lad could really provide some quality distribution for Callum that's been very much starving over the years, from the players that he's had in his Newcastle squad. But you can see there, Mark's compared him in the radar to Alan St-Maximin. And in terms of a lot of other things, with the exception of kind of goals to shot ratios and XGs, Ziyech is way ahead of St-Maximin. You can see there he's ahead of him in assists and shots and goals. He's just a very, very talented player. And I think I'd be really happy if the club would have pushed forward with this, whether it be a loan deal with an intention to buy. You can see there he's proven pedigree as well in European football with Ajax, Chelsea, and internationally as well. Morocco, 39 appearances and 17 goals and 7 assists. So this is a proper player, so would be a bit silly not to be interested in a player like this. Yes, he's 29 years old, but this isn't the Mike Ashley days. We're not trying to sell the guy out for big profit. We need key players now that can help us get out the league, and he could definitely be one of them. So let us know what you guys think in the comments below. If you'd be happy with Hakim Ziyech, I personally would be. I think he would be a hell of an improvement on what we've got. I think with Maximum as well. We've just seen today, this is recording this after the Brighton game. We've seen the bad side of Maxi. The kind of unpredictable and the inconsistent side of Maxi. The likes of Ziyech is a lot more consistent as a player. So yeah, let us know what you guys think in the comments below, whether you would take him or not. So we're going to move on to the next player here, which this is really exciting, if there's any truth in this talk at all. So the next player that apparently we've been linked to is Conor Gallagher. Now, I'm a huge fan of this lad. Absolutely brilliant footballer. 22 years old. He's got all of his career ahead of him, really. He was sensational last year at Crystal Palace. That's the best way to describe him. He broke into the England squad. He's got 4 appearances and 1 assist. last year at Palace, he had 39 appearances, 8 goals and 5 assists. The season before that, he was at West Brom, fighting relegation, but he shone like a diamond in amongst all the shit. 32 appearances, 2 goals and 2 assists. He just looked like a really, really good player. And then he stepped up the season after at Palace. He was absolutely amazing at Palace. We are lacking that kind of dynamic movement from our midfield. Joe Willock was that lad when he came in on that half a season loan. We haven't seen that player that's capable of being that goal threat from midfield, getting 8 goals like that. Yes, Bruno got about 4 or 5 possibly, but Bruno's supposed to be a defensive midfielder. Joe Linton can chip in with a few, but sometimes he shoots and he's got more chance of hitting your car windscreen than he has the back of the net. Whereas Gallagher's got that composure, he's got that skill, he's got that quality. He can get stuck in as well. He can win the ball back. He can start the play. He can break up the play. I just think the kid's a really, really talented footballer. You can see from the stats there, the marks held up, for his per 90 minutes. In the goals ratio there for players in his position across the top 5 leagues in Europe, he's the 95th percentile, 0.25 goals a game for Crystal Palace. Is just unbelievable. 0.09 assists. And the 65%, the XG, he's 92%, his shots 88, shots on target, 42% of what he shoots is on target, so he's in the 92nd percentile there, which is absolutely brilliant. His crosses as well, which is very interesting. He's in the 98th percentile. Now, we don't get a lot of crosses in for Callum Wilson. He's very starved the service. If Mackey's having an off game, he doesn't really get many crosses, to be fair. Even with Trippier's quality as well, from corners generally or free kicks, we seem to be aiming for Dan Burn, who, bless him, he's a great defender, but when he comes to attack the ball in the box, he's got a head like a 50-pence piece. He doesn't seem to get anything on target. So to have a midfielder that can create a bit of space and whip a cross in would be sensational, really. And even for, that waste of money Chris Wood on the bench, potentially, if he's coming on to try and do something in the game. If you had Conor Gallagher in your squad across the ball, and for him, he might actually look useful for a change. So let us know what you guys think in the comments below about this potential move. I mean, I think it'd be absolutely incredible. I think you would slot in that midfield straight away for me alongside Bruno and Joe Linton, and I think he would be sensational. I really do. Whether Chelsea wouldn't have let him go or not, I don't know, because he probably would have went to Palace if that was the case, but they might be wanting to bring somebody else in before they let him go. Obviously, they had a lot of up and down about the new ownership, so potentially they haven't had a chance to really go through anything with Conor Gallagher in terms of what his future would be. But you can see there, Mark's held him up against Bruno to the side. We love Bruno. Bruno's absolutely sensational. You can see really that Conor Gallagher scores more than Bruno in terms of his goal contributions and his shots. Now, that's perfect because we don't potentially need Bruno to do that. If you've got a lad like this in the side, Bruno is much better. His pass completion, his key passing, his assists. Bruno can get on the ball and make things happen. He can chase back. He can win the ball. He can break up the play. He can start the play. Conor Gallagher is the kind of player that can break into the box or break into the edge of the box, pull off a shot from distance and smash it in the top corner, or even follow it in and tap it in. We haven't had a midfielder like that really since Robert Lee. Gini Wijnaldum was that player for a time, but only at home, never away. So I'd love to have a player like this in the squad. 22 years old as well. He's got so much more improvement ahead of him as well. So you can see there, as Mark says, his key strengths really for Conor Gallagher. He's a goal threat. He's great dribbling the ball. He's a good crosser of the ball as well. You can see from his heat map there, he is very busy. He's all over the place. He does pull out to the kind of right-hand side a lot more, which is absolutely fine, because we don't really have anything from that side. Miggy is all over the place. Maxim likes to swap wings, God knows why. So if Conor Gallagher could even pull out wide and put those crosses in, then why the hell not? Do you know what I mean? I think it's to me, this would be brilliant business by the club if they can make this happen. Even if it was for a loan, with an option to buy at the end of the season. He's exactly the type of player that I think Newcastle should be looking for, especially with Shelvey out long term. If you were to get someone like Gallagher on loan, it could be the end of Shelvey, to be fair, because I think Gallagher's so far ahead of Longstaff and Willock. He's out of sight, so for me, if the club can get this done, please God, get this done. But one thing's for sure, we need to get these players in, but we're lacking so much in these key areas. And if we could bring in players of this quality, then there's no doubt they would improve the squad. But let us know what you guys think in the comments below. We always like to hear from you. As I mentioned at the start, if you haven't, smash the subscribe and bell button so you don't miss any of the videos coming. Come and join us. Loads of content coming. 2 weekly podcasts, Mondays and Wednesdays, in What's Going On and Evermore. And then pop-up videos like this for Rumour Has It, transfer links, and also post-match reviews and previews. So keep Evermore, guys. Let's keep supporting the team of McCoy United. We'll catch you later. Cheers.